Hello, I'm Firefighter Becky Barr from Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service. Now usually at this time of year, many of us are going out to bonfire and firework displays around the county, but this year everything's a little bit different. So we thought we'd like to share with you our own virtual bonfire and firework display. Also to share some really important safety messages and a little bit about the work we do here in the fire service. But first of all, for those of you that may be having a bonfire or a firework display of your own at home, here's some top safety tips. Really good safety advice there, wasn't there? Earlier we went to meet one of our doggy colleagues, Rue, to find out about her work as a fire investigation dog.
A dog's nose is far more sensitive, so when we put the dog into a fire situation, post-fire, the dog can lead us to an area where we believe the fire to have started. The fire investigation team will attend. We'll start picking up information from the crews that have initially attended, and if we're going down the route of we don't think it's accidental and there's a potential deliberate cause, if the incident isn't clearly obvious where the fire started, it's beneficial to get the dog on scene so that we can put the dog into work, and it'll give us an indication predominantly whether any accelerants have been used. Obviously with the dog having been certified as a fire investigation dog, any reports that we produce where the dog has been utilised, that is credible evidence to any criminal investigations that we undertake. Quite recently, in a house fire that I attended, the fire was well developed on arrival and an individual was seen leaving the property 10 minutes before. We put the dog into work, the dog indicated in an area for us, that was tested, we found accelerants on the product. A search of the individual's clothing confirmed that accelerants were on the clothing as well. We found out that the male has now pleaded guilty to arson. The dog and obviously our investigation has given a positive result.
So at this point, the dog's excited, she's got a harness on, she's got her boots on, she knows I've got the tennis ball and it's in her pocket because that is her reward for working. We've done the risk assessment of the premise. We know that there's no holes in the floor and that it's safe to deploy the dog. I would usually have a respirator on, nitrile gloves and my fire gloves as well, just to protect me from sharps. The dog's excited, she's wanting to go to work, and this will be our entry point. All I do, very, very simply, is just unclip her. She knows the game, she's a very experienced search dog, and I just ask her to show me. Show me for her means where the ignitable liquids are. Quickly, she's covering the whole of the area. And there we've got an indication. Okay, so we've got a positive indication here to ignitable liquids. At this stage, I need to go and get Lee in with a photoionisation device. We can get a quantitative reading so that we can hopefully send it off to the lab for analysis. Rue's done very, very well. She showed us where the ignitable liquid is, and her reward is her tennis ball. Hello, princess. The great thing about working with the dogs is it saves us so much time when we're investigating fires. They can pinpoint trace levels of ignitable liquids. They're very, very quick. We can then use the dogs with our other technology and our fire investigation team to get all the evidence required, to send samples off to the GCMS and get prosecutions for arsonists and those endangering lives.
Well, as you could see from that video, the fire service is about a great deal more than just putting out fires. Earlier, we went to meet Urban Search and Rescue to find out about what they do, and they have a dog too. We were just about to film a little bit about what these firefighters do in their role, and as we were just preparing to film, they got turned out to a real life incident. What you can see behind me are the firefighters of Urban Search and Rescue just getting ready to mobilise to a job that's come through as an incident on the motorway in which there may be people trapped in an overturned vehicle. So we've just seen USAR going out. Do you know what job they've gone to?
Yes, they've gone to a motorhome which is overturned on the M6 motorway.
And what other kind of jobs do USAR turn out to?
We were specifically for major incidents, so terrorist incidents, structural collapse, people missing from home, MISPAs.
And you look after the USAR dog as well, don't you, Sydney? What kind of work does he do?
Sid looks for live scent, so if we had a building collapse, Sid would be put on there. A building that's too difficult for us to search, we put Sid in instead, and he looks for live scent and lets us know if there's anybody trapped.
We've got a bit of time. Should we go and work with Sydney and see what we can do?
Yeah, we'll put him over the rubble pile. Great. If you like. And,
masks on?
Yes, no probs.
Great to see Sydney working, isn't it? He's so enthusiastic and obviously loves his job. We're going to see him working with the USAR crew as soon as they get back from that call they've just been out to. In fact, they're just pulling up now, so we will be working with them very soon. But in the meantime, let's watch Sydney doing his thing. So we've just seen you coming back from a job. What happened there?
Okay, we've just been called out to one of our USAR jobs. It's a specialist role that we have when there's large road traffic incidents. So because of the size of the vehicle that they need to deal with, as it happens when we were en route to the incident, the officer in charge sent a message through saying that we weren't required. There was no persons that were trapped. So that's when you saw us return to station. Good
news for them, of course. So now we're back here, about to do a drill with Sid.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of drill that you would usually do?
Yeah, it's something we regularly do, and it's something that's really important for the team. And there is a process that we need to go through, which is what John's doing now.
So what's Sid looking for now?
Okay, so Sid is a scent dog. He's looking for live scent. And this is how quick he is, yeah. And when he finds it, he will stop, look at his owner, and then bark as he's doing there, and he'll stay.
That took no time at all.
No, absolutely
no time at all. So what happens next? There's a process, isn't there now?
So they go onto the rubble pile, and they use various bits of equipment. Today they've got a search camera, and they would detect using the seismic and acoustic stuff for voice and tapping. And then once they've done that, they can triangulate where the individual is, and then they would drill down or remove rubble or do whatever they need to do to actually get access to that individual.
And having a dog like Sid just makes that process so much shorter, presumably?
Massively. I mean, the most important part of this process, without a shadow of a doubt, is the dog. It would take probably 30 people to do what he's done in 1 minute. So they're that good.
our specialist units in the fire service, like USAR, who we just saw, carry all sorts of kit. But most of us, when we think about the fire service, think of one of these fire engines. Here's Shabazz to give us a quick tour.
Hi, my name is Shabazz. I've been an operational firefighter for 15 years and I'm here to show you my fire engine. This fire engine is called the ladder because on here we've got a 13.5 metre ladder. Some of the other fire engines have a smaller 10.5 metre ladder, and so they're normally called a pump. This front part of the fire engine is called a cab. Come on inside and let's have a look. Okay guys, this is the rear of the cab. Okay, we've got all these breathing apparatus sets here. We've got officer in charge that sits at number 1 position over here. Number 2 is the driver. Number 3 here is breathing apparatus team leader. That's my position today. And by you over there is number 4, who's my partner. 5 and 6 would sit here in the middle, and we've all got clearly defined roles based on our position over here. Here is my actual kit, fire kit. So what I'm going to do now is actually show you how we'd get dressed if there was an incident. So I'd grab my gear off. Okay, so our bunker pants are already in our fire boots, so we just quickly kick off our shoes. Straight up into the bunker pants. This is called a fire tunic. Again, this is all part of our personal protective equipment that we need to wear. This is the equipment that I'd be wearing to be able to go into a house fire. I'm not actually going to put on my set today, but basically I would undo this, put on my mask, put on my gloves and my helmet, and then I'm fully protected to be able to walk into that fire. As many of you are probably wondering what's behind these locker doors. Let's lift them up and find out. As you can see, there's a lot of gear on here, but what I'm going to focus on is the RTC locker here. This is exclusively for road traffic collisions, and the gear on here is there to be able to release people that have been actually trapped in a vehicle. Okay, at the back of every fire engine we have the pump. If I open up these doors, this is what we call a major pump. We've got 3 deliveries, 1, 2, 3, out of which the water comes out from. And at the back of this pump, we have 1,000 litres of water. Okay, coming around guys, very quickly, again, all water related locker here to be able to divide the actual hoses up. We've got one where it can stand alone by itself and just keep putting the fire out. Various cutters, again, a replica of the other side with hose reel and hose. Over here, we've got our first aid packs, a fan that we can use to get rid of all the hot gases and smoke that would be in a building, make it safer for us and for the people inside the building. And this is looking back at the other side of the cab again. Okay, 4 breathing apparatus sets that we've got over there, and our driver sits over here taking us to the job. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the whistle top tour. Be safe this bonfire. Okay, enjoy the festivities and have a safe one. Take care, bye bye.
It may surprise you to learn that almost half of the fire engines in the county are actually staffed by on-call firefighters. We are recruiting all the time for on-call too, and if you're interested, here's more information.
As an on-call firefighter, my normal day is the same as everyone else's. The only difference is carrying an alerter around with me when I'm on call, and that could go off at any time. And when it does, myself and the rest of the crew, we need to be on station within 5 minutes, ready to go and help whoever it is that needs it. Gives you a big adrenaline rush as you're coming in. You never know what to expect. It could be anything, it could be a person trapped, or it could be an automatic fire alarm going off. We come up, everyone gets into the station, we get all our kit, we're onto the pump, and then we drive off and we go and do whatever it is that we need to do. We meet up once a week for drill night, and that's where we practice the skills that we've got and anything that we might need to do in terms of new training or new equipment, and upskilling new firefighters that have joined the station. As an on-call firefighter, you're expected to commit a minimum of 60 hours a week But that could be at any time. It could be while you're at work, or it could be while you're at home, sometimes even when you're asleep in bed. All of our rotas are different according to our different needs and our different jobs. So it's quite easy for you to be able to fit this into your life. Obviously it is a job and you do get paid for all your turnouts and the call-outs and the training that you do. There's loads of professional development opportunities and the training that you receive is excellent, which is one of the reasons I joined. Get yourself down to your local station, meet the crew, have a chat with people there. They'll tell you how you could do it and how it could fit into your life. Have a look on the website, give someone a ring, whatever you want to do. But honestly, it'll be one of the best things you've ever done. You will absolutely love it. If you want to know any more about being an on-call firefighter, just search for Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service.
There really are so many fantastic opportunities to work in the fire service. Now it is just about time to get the bonfire going. While we get it lit though and wait for it to really get hold, we're going to get some final safety messages. I'm joined now by Group Manager Liam Wilson. We all know that you're supposed to have smoke alarms in your house, that you must check them very regularly, but there are lots of other things you can do, particularly at bedtime, aren't there, to keep safe?
Yeah, absolutely. What we advise homeowners to do is prior to going to bed is undertake what we call a bedtime routine. So within that we encompass a number of different activities. So for instance, making sure that electrical sockets and electrical appliances are all isolated, turned off at the plug or at the appliance, just to render it safe. And a number of other activities, such as making sure that cookers are also isolated and turned off, and anything that may be potentially hot is removed from that source.
Smoky materials as well are a real one to keep an eye on, aren't they?
Absolutely. Just in respect of smoky materials, there's a number of things that we can do again. So for instance, prior to going to bed, anybody who does smoke, make sure that cigarettes are thoroughly extinguished in the ashtray. And the second thing that we can do in respect to that is, prior to potentially emptying that ashtray in a rubbish bin, make sure that the contents are thoroughly cold first.
Escape routes as well. Tell us a little bit about the importance of escape routes.
Yeah, escape routes. So first of all, once the occupants have gone to bed, it is important prior to doing that they maintain that escape route, make sure that the escape route is thoroughly clear, and also encompass within that is making sure that the keys for the escape point is located on that escape route and thoroughly accessible. And perhaps most importantly of all, close all of your doors, because that will help to slow the spread of smoke and fire throughout your house.
Yeah, some really important messages there. Thanks very much for that, Liam. Now it is just about time to get the bonfire and firework display underway. Let's look in. What an awesome firework display. Remember, at the end of the night, you must make sure your bonfire is properly out. Luckily, we've got some firefighters on hand to help us with ours. Ready, guys? Well, we hope you've enjoyed our virtual bonfire night. We do love sharing our work with you. Our bonfire here is just about out now, but before we go, one last treat for all the children out there and maybe some of the adults too. Firefighter Cloughy from Burnley Fire Station is here with a bedtime story.
On a cold autumn night around November the 5th, bonfire nights got cancelled and we all felt a bit miffed. So Mum, Dad and I, and of course the dragon too, sat down and planned out what else we could do. With coronavirus cancelling our local firework display, we now have to stay home and celebrate another way. We could of course watch a film, build a den or build Lego, just as long as we stayed home by ourselves to celebrate though. But Dragon wanted fireworks, even if it was just for us four, and we agreed we'd enjoy them, and so we planned out some more. Dad went and bought some fireworks from a reputable shop, and we all got excited to hear them snap, crackle and pop. The dragon said it's fun to see fireworks light up the night. It is, I agreed, but don't forget they can give people a fright. So we rang up our neighbour and told him what we had planned, and he thanked us and said letting him know was real grand. See, he has a pet dog that hates fireworks too. So he said they both stay inside. It was the sensible thing to do. Then as night time drew near, we checked that the bonfire was clear, because sometimes animals can burrow and hide, trying to make a nice, cosy home inside. We made sure it was away from the house and our tree, and that everything was just as safe as could be. The dragon, of course, said to pour petrol and get it roaring. No, dragon, I said, that's really dangerous. We're not trying to be boring. You could hurt yourself with a burn from the flame, suffer a life-changing injury with only yourself left to blame. Dad read the fireworks instructions and got a bucket to hand. It was really important that it all went as planned. Fireworks are explosives and can put us in danger. Knowing how to use them safely really is a game changer. Make sure that you place them on a sturdy base, and of course when you light them, point away from your face. You should always light fireworks, not with your hand but a taper. Then I shouted, Dad, come over here where it's safer. The fireworks went up, all colourful and bright. It really was a spectacular sight. From the window the dragon could see one had not lit, and he went to run over until I shouted, stop, you could get it. Dad said we could have sparklers if we promised to be safe. We should hold at arm's length and keep away from our face. We'll get Dad to light it safely with a taper. We don't want to end up in hospital with a burn injury later. Little hands like ours could easily get burnt. Do you not remember all that you learnt? The firefighters told us to always wear a glove. It is important to keep safe and show our hands some love. Then Mum called us over for something to eat. Butter pie, parched peas and parkin. Oh, what a treat. Soon we were sleepy especially after we'd been fed. But there was one thing we had to do before going off to bed. We checked and made sure the fire was definitely out. We used sand and some water from the garden hose spout. The Dragon and I had a great bonfire night at home. I can't wait to tell our friends all about it tomorrow on the phone. No, if you decide to do fireworks in your house down the road, please remember to stay safe and follow the fireworks code. If you find you need help or are worried, please call. You're not wasting anybody's time at all. There you go, children. Now, what I want you to remember, stay safe, have a great bonfire night. Always remember you can ring up for some advice to your local fire station if you're worried about anything, but only ever ring us if it's an emergency. And also, what I want you to remember is you should always let adults light the fireworks, and if for any reason your clothes do catch fire, I want you to remember what I've told you before: stop, drop and roll. And by that I mean, if your clothes catch fire, don't just run away, because that will help fan the flames. So I want you to stop running, drop to the floor and just keep rolling and rolling and rolling until all the flames are out. That will smother the flames. But like I've said, I want you to have a great bonfire night. I want you to enjoy yourselves, but please, please, please stay safe. Bye-bye, children. See you again.